Students, myself Ashutosh Pawan, faculty, Department of BCA, Harprasad Das Jain College, Ara. In today's video lecture, I am going to teach you how you can solve sequential problems using Java. For this, you have to open an editor where you can write your Java program, and I am going to launch a text editor window in which I can write Java program, the text editor window of Notepad application. Now, in this application, you can write your Java program and then you can save your file with the extension .java. I am going to use this editor window to write my Java program for a sequential based problem. For this, I have to specify the problem that I am going to solve in this video lecture, and I am making the problem as a comment line in this editor window. Write a Java program to display the sum of two numbers. So, I have to write a Java program that will display the sum of two numbers. The numbers may be integer, may be float, or may be of double data type. It depends upon you what type of variable you are declaring in the program. I am going to declare integer variable, and I am going to add two integer values, and I will display the sum of two integer values in my program. Now, as I have taught you in my previous video lecture that everything in Java is to be considered in context of an object, because Java is a pure object oriented programming language. Hence, we have to define a class so that we can create an object, or the Java interpreter may load an object into the memory during the runtime. Now, I am going to define the class and in my previous video lecture I have also taught you that the main method is also encapsulated inside the class body, and the signature of main method is public static void main string args. The signature line of Java's main method is like this. Inside this main method body, we have to write the statements that are required to solve the given problem. And the given problem is to display the sum of two numbers. Here I am going to declare integer variables. To add two numbers we require three variables. First variable will hold the first value, second variable will store the second value, and the third variable will store the result of addition of these two numbers. Now I have completed the task of variable declaration, and then I have entered into the step where I have to store the value in required variable. And as I have to add two numbers, hence I have to store values of two numbers. The first value will be stored in first variable. Here I am going to perform assignment expression. So I am going to assign or initialize a value to my first variable num1, and then I am going to initialize second value to second variable, that is num2, by using the assignment operator equal to. Now I have performed the second step that is required to solve the given problem, and now I have entered into the third step to perform calculation. As according to the question I have to add two numbers, hence I am writing the calculation statement as sum is equal to num plus num1 plus num2, and I have now completed the third step of performing calculation, and now entered into the fourth step of solving the given problem, that is the producing of output. And to produce any output through a Java program, we have to write system.out.print. We have to use print method to produce the output. Now inside print method I want to display the output as, first of all, first number will be produced as output at the screen, then a symbol plus will be output in the screen, then the second number will be output in the screen, then equal to symbol will be output in the screen, then the result of addition is stored in sum variable will be output in the screen. Now I have completed the fourth step of solving the given problem, and hence I have completed, or I have completely written all the steps that are required to solve the given problem. Now the class is defined, and now I have to save the program file. To save the program file I have clicked on file menu, and then I am clicking on save as command. I am writing the name of the Java program file, testsum.java. Now I have completed the first phase of program development, and now I have to compile my Java program file. For this I am going to launch the command prompt window. Now command prompt window is launched. Here I have to go in the directory where I have saved my Java program file. I am changing the directory prompt at the command prompt window. First of all I have reached to the root directory, and then I am changing this directory to my folder where I have saved my Java program file. I have saved my Java program file in a folder named Java PRG. Hence I have entered into the folder in which I have saved the Java program file. Now I am invoking the Java compiler and I am specifying the Java program file name with the Java compiler. Now I have to press enter so that Java compiler may work on my Java file to compile. You can see no message has been displayed. This means that my Java program file has been successfully compiled and I have completed the second phase of program development, and I have entered into the third phase of program development where I have to execute my Java program. And to execute Java program we have to use Java interpreter, and with Java interpreter you have to write the class name in which you have defined your main method. I have defined my main method in the class testSum. To execute I have to press enter key here, and you can see that an output has been produced. 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. As I have initialized the value 10 in first variable num1, 20 in second variable num2, and hence the result of addition of these two values is 30, and at the screen the output is produced by executing the statement that I have written here, and similar output has been produced. If you want to add any other two number, then you can make modification in the assignment expression. Suppose you want to add minus 50 with the value 50, then you can make change here, and then you have to save the changes in the Java file. I am going to save the changes in Java file by clicking on file menu and then by clicking on save command. This time I have clicked on save command because I have already given the program file a name, testsum.java. Now after making the modification and after saving the modification, I have to return to the command prompt window, and here if I am going to run my Java program by invoking the Java interpreter, then you can see that your previous output will be displayed. Your previous output will be displayed because I have made modification and I have saved the modification in Java program file, but no bytecode has been generated for the modifications that I have made in the Java program file. Hence I have to compile the Java program file so that relevant bytecode may be produced, and I am going to invoke the Java compiler with my Java program file, and now you can see no message has been displayed. This means that my Java program file has been successfully compiled and a bytecode has been generated. Now I am going to invoke Java interpreter with the class name in which I have defined main method. You can see that the sum of the two numbers minus 50 and 50 has been displayed in the screen. So you can use assignment expression to store value in your variables. But if you want to take input and then perform arithmetical calculation on the input taken in the program, then you have to write a different Java program. As I have taught in my previous video lecture that you can take input from the command prompt window. As I have taught that Java main method takes command line argument and stores in the array parameter declared inside the parenthesis of main method. I am going to illustrate this in this particular video lecture. Now, if you will pass command line argument from this command prompt window, then whatever you will write here will be a text, and the same text will be passed to the main method, and the text will be stored in this string array parameter. The first text will be stored in the array memory at the index 0, and the second text will be stored in the array memory at the index 1. The third text will be stored in the array memory at the index 2. Now we have to perform addition of two numbers and not on text. So we have to make some modification in the assignment expression here. num1 is equal to integer dot parse int args at 0. As I have taught that the first text will be stored at the index 0 in the array memory args, and the command line argument that you are passing will be of type string, and I have to perform addition of integer quantity. Hence the string stored in the array memory args at 0 is to be converted into an integer value, and to convert the string into an integer value we have to use the method parse int that has been defined in class integer. Integer is a wrapper class that defines a static method by the name parse int, and this parse int method returns an integer type value. Parse int is a method defined as a static member inside the class integer. I have already taught you that the static methods or the static members can be called directly by using the class name, and hence I am going to make a call of parse int static method with the class name integer. The return type of parse int method is int, and hence an integer type value that will be obtained when the method gets executed, and this integer value is going to be initialized to num1 variable. Similarly, I am going to store this second command line argument into second integer variable by writing the similar statement integer dot parse int args at 1. Now if you are going to use parse int method in your program, then you have to handle the exception thrown by this method. Parse int method throws an exception of type number format exception. Hence, whenever in the program you are going to use parse int method, you have to handle the exception number format exception. And if you are not going to handle the exception that parse int method throws, then you can also throw the same exception from the body of the method in which you are going to make a call of parse int method. As you can see here that I am making a call of parse int method inside main method. This parse int method has been written inside the body of the main method, and inside main method I am not going to handle the exception that the parse int method throws. Hence I am going to throw the same exception from main method. I am writing here throws number format exception. Okay. Now as you have made the modification in the program, then you have to save the modification, and for this you have to click on file menu and then click on save command. Now the modification made in the Java program file has been saved in Java program file. Now I have to return at the command prompt window, and if you are now invoking the Java interpreter by using the class name in which you have defined main method, then since no bytecode has been generated for the modifications made in the Java program file, bytecode is always generated when you will compile the Java program file. And now till now I have not compiled my Java program file after making the modification and saving the modifications in the Java program file, and I am going to invoke the Java interpreter by using the class name in which I have defined the main method. We will get our previous output at the screen. You can see that the output that has been displayed during the previous run of the Java program has been also displayed here. Hence, if you want to get the result of modifications made in the Java program file when you are running your Java program file, then you have to compile the same Java program file by invoking the Java compiler javac testsum.java. You can see that no message has been displayed here at the screen. This means that my Java program file has been successfully compiled and a relevant bytecode has been generated. Now you can invoke the Java interpreter here and with Java interpreter you have to write the class name in which you have defined your Java program, and then you have to press enter key. But as I have taught you that we are going to add two numbers that will be taken as input from the command line. This is the command line from where I am going to run my Java program file, and from here I have to pass the argument to my Java program, to the main method that I have defined inside my Java program file. As you can see that I have used the same name of the variable that has been defined or declared here in the parenthesis of main method, and with this variable name I have specified an index inside the subscript operator 0. Hence we have to pass a value that will be stored at the index 0 of args variable. And if you are not going to pass any value from here, then during the runtime an error message, exception message will be displayed at the command prompt window. You can see here, you can see that a message has been displayed here: exception in thread main java.lang.array index out of bounds exception, array index out of bounds exception, and here you can see a value 0 has been displayed. Now I am going to run my Java program by passing one argument. I have written only one text after the class name. You can see that I have written only one text 1, and now I am going to press enter key so that I can execute my Java program. You can see here that again the same exception message has been displayed, and this time here the value 1 has been displayed. Now I am going to run my Java program file again by passing two arguments, by writing two texts here. Okay, I have written 23. Now I am going to press enter key so that I can execute my Java program. Now you can see that here an output has been displayed and no message has been displayed here. The output of the program has been displayed here, and the output is 1 plus 23 is equal to 24. You can see that the result of addition of two numbers has been displayed here. You can execute the same program again. I am going to add these two numbers, minus 99 and 43. I am going to press enter key here. You can see that the result of addition of two numbers, minus 99 plus 43 is equal to minus 56, has been displayed here. Now I am going to execute the Java program again by writing minus 99 and RAM. Now I am going to press enter key here. You can see an exception message has been displayed, and you can see here the exception message include the text number format exception, this exception message has been displayed because the value RAM cannot be converted into an integer value. The value RAM cannot be converted into an integer value. Hence, you have to write such text that can be converted into an integer value. I am going to write the text as -99 and 199. Hence, you can see my program has successfully executed and the output message has been displayed at the screen. -99 plus 199 is equal to 100.